Hello and welcome to Slips Breakdown. If you'd like to watch the future games like the one we're breaking down today, you can watch it at twitch.tv/Slips League Championship. My name's Freshify, and with me is our magnificent coach, caster, and analyst, Coach Scully. How
How
you
is it going, Freshify? We here again to take another look at a game. This time, Freshify, it's a game that you played in.
It is indeed.
Awesome. So we got a inside perspective on this one. Maybe this one will feel like a coaching session, live coaching session. Everybody, what we think? No, we are going to break down why your team found success, how y'all can find more success, and maybe some weaknesses in the other squad that you on the air can help avoid with your own squads. If you don't have a coach, come here. If you do have a coach, send them here. Let's get this going. All right, let me get the right Alt Tab button pressed. There we go. So this is game 3, right, Freshify?
Yes, it is. First game was 6-2 for Blackout, and the second game was a 5-0.
Interesting. So off the bat, coming right out of kickoff, we see a nice little double commit there. What happened? Just lack of communication?
Yeah, for the most part, it was just lack of communication.
And then we have CBK Nova, who had way too much faith in Zen getting that touch. Now, this is something I really want to touch on right here. How he rotated straight into the ball with a lot of useless flips downfield to boot. So let me pull up my little coloring board and let's go into this. So remember, I have talked about. I do not like that being blue right now. Let's get a different color. Let's go back to classic yellow. Yes. We've talked about how I have this nice little V right here. Everything on the inside has an inherent danger. Danger goes up. When we are outside the V, danger is less. Nevers, it's never zero, but it is less. So, with that in mind, why on God's green earth is CBK Nova just straight following this outside of our V towards the side? We see this a lot out of players, and right, it's all the way down to platinum strategies when we first start hearing about rotations and stuff like this, that we always hear no ball side rotations, touch the back post. And then we get into higher level lobbies and we realize that's not quite always true. But what never clicks is the difference on when it is true and why on those specific situations we find ourselves feeling that it is not the case, right? That's something that we as people in general have a hard time doing. If we find anything that disproves a prior belief, especially if we're more akin to wanting to chase the ball into the corner in this particular situation, we are going to believe it without questioning it. Why did it work? Why does chasing the ball into the corner sometimes work in situations? And why in this situation was it wrong? Well, I could tell you straight first. Time and space is what I always tell my team. So we got our V right here. And then I always tell my players that this is what I call no man's land. I'm not saying that you can never enter no man's land, but it isn't called no man's land for a reason. There's not much use for a man to be there. In this situation, we have CBK rotating back and Zen on the opposition right here close to the ball. The most immediate danger. Where is the most immediate danger going to be on this field? Freshify.
Most immediate danger would be in the middle,
The
in
middle.
between the V's.
In between the V's. Like I've said it before, it is so hard to predict the future in Rocket League. But in this situation on defense, especially on transitional defense, the future's not very hard to predict. The ball will eventually have to go back inside of your V. Why not just be there first? if you're at the V first and the ball comes in, you're already there. But this is not what we see CBK Nova do. We see him chase the ball into the corner with a bunch of useless flips downfield. And I'm going to show that for you. Back that up and show that to you. 1 flip, 2 flip, boost grab, 3 flip, boost grab, and nothing. He did not do a single thing to that play. Honestly, if Zen had hit that ball, it would have gone right over his head because he chose not to commit on it. Let's see if I can bring it down to stop at the exact moment he makes the decision to turn away. Right here, he's either needs to go for the ball or not be there in the first place. I say it all the time. I say it all the time. He who chases after 2 feathers shall catch neither. He chased after 2 options: to guard the net, to challenge the ball. He tried to do both, Freshify, and did neither. But Coach Scully, you said sometimes chasing the ball into the corner works. Glad you said it.
You're
Let's
welcome.
hey, that's why we got you here. So let's explore that option. Normally, ignore everybody on the field. Clear the field of players from your mind and pretend no one exists. Let's see if this. Now it's. I'll find. On those situations, the transition is happening a little bit more fluently, right? We have 2 players equally spaced coming back at around the same time. One of these players will challenge the ball into the corner to make the stop. One of these players will go and defend the net, while the third one takes the wider rotation around to catch either the extension passes or the replacement to the back post or whatever he happens to be needed for it by the time he arrives. But this is when challenging into the corner becomes so useful. The fact that CBK Nova was all by himself, there is only one condition to be met for him to challenge into the corner like that, and that is for him to have time and space. Something that if we look back at this instance, we will notice he has neither time nor space. Zen is on top of that ball, taking every ounce away from him. Now, I point this out so strongly because I've already watched this replay. I came prepared today, Freshify. So I've noticed the pattern of Nova doing this very similar method where he's trying to do 2 things at once and positioning himself in a way that neither gets done. Now, I still got the thing at the bottom of the a little score and timeline at the bottom of the screen so you can see that your team Freshify, y'all do end up taking the dub, but CBK Nova actually plays a very minimum role in this victory. Not saying he did nothing because this is too high of a level for a 2v3, right? He definitely participated, but I think you can attest you would have liked to see him participate more in this particular instance. Game. And that's something that I feel like we are going to explore a good bit of tonight because it's a very common problem.
How common is it?
Uh, all the jokes that I'm thinking of past the time of funny punchline. All right, we see a nice little push down here. Just going to talk as we go a little bit. We definitely see you, Freshify, pushing way too far into third man. What is the most important position on offense?
Mm,
Where,
third
where,
man?
or I should say, where
Where?
on the field is the most important position on offense?
The midline?
Midline. Where on the midline? In reference to who or what? Behind someone, in front of someone, on the other side of someone, opposite of someone?
Opposite?
Opposite of who?
The second? Or
Op-
first man?
Opposite of the first man. So we're kind of grasping at straws, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I meant to put you on the spot right there. I always say the most important position on the field, ball is over here, is going to be the diamond back here. We've heard me talk about diamonds before. They are the beautiful little zone coverage spots that we can use on the offense to rotate into and out of to make good rounded approaches with decent time, decent vision, and decent timing opportunities, right? Every rotation, every replacement should come through these diamonds. And if it's not going through these diamonds, it is a cut. Now, if it's an intelligent cut, then you're fine. If it's an unintelligent cut, then maybe should have hit the diamond. We are going to probably see examples of both. But what right now we are not seeing an example of is anybody being in the diamond behind the ball carrier. You specifically, Freshify,
Yes.
following CBK Nova directly behind him, making you absolutely moot to this play, right? When two players equal one car, then one player equals zero. And in this instance, you are the one who equaled 0 cars. Jay pushes it forward. You set up shot behind him, behind the diamond if you're expecting the big one, in the front of the diamond if you're expecting the quick bounce passes or the quick let out pass or a small short challenge. Right? It's a beautiful thing. This shape has nice little points for anything that you can expect. And remember, I'm drawing this diamond using the big pad, that pad, that pad, and that pad, connecting them all together to make that nice little shape. The most important position on offense is the diamond behind the ball carrier, because if he loses, you have now put yourself in a spot to suffocate the defense by repeating to put it in. Play the scenario in your mind that you're continually bringing the ball out of the corner, but every single time you bring the ball out of the corner on defense, one of the other player team is right there to smash it back. Then you get it back and do it again, and the next player is right there to smash it back. Then you try a different way, and then the next player is right there to smash it back. It is feels passive and slow, but in full speed, it is very quick, aggressive, and suffocating form of offense, taking that extra space, that extra backup to get in the right position to make the right play. So keep that in mind. As a third man, your main job is to be behind the ball carrier unless the situation implies differently. I like that slow air dribble that you had right there to slow it down for your team.
Thank you. Kind of, what's it called? Use my mechanics for my bad rotations sometimes.
And this
Make
is
it.
what I see a lot from your team coming through. As you could see, Jay pushes way too far forward outside of the diamond completely. And look, even though he has the right read, he is not in the right position to make use of his read. And any touch he would have made right there would have been a mechanical compensation for a weak positioning system. CBK, I love this mentality to get 150 and just without hesitation grab another one. That is beautiful. Good job by Jay. Cutting off that passing lane. That pass was great. But why does it break down? CBK trying to do two jobs at once. Front post job. All right, so we got a front post and a back post defender. What is the job of each? Front post defender's job is to do what? Freshify.
Challenge.
Challenge and
Make it easy for the back post guy to follow up.
yeah, yep, that's what the challenge does. Challenging early makes it easy for the
Mhm.
back post guy to follow up. But another kind of undefined, sneaky little rule of the front post man is that he can either be placed front post or right here and be doing very much of the same job. It is to cut off those infield passing lanes. He is the first one there to see the pass come across, right? Because your back post man, his nose is facing towards the play. You're doubled up in the net. If the ball were to shift sides of the field, the nose position that you must have now switches to the other way. But CBK's going this way. So if they switch sides of the field, they can hit at his taillights and get an easy goal, and him to stretch all the way across field to try to cut off those lanes is unrealistic. So the front post man has that added responsibility to point his nose a little bit more upfield within more of this cone of vision to cut off passing plays early. Jay does a great job of just that. Unfortunately, CBK does not recognize it and puts forth yet another flip, guys. 4 wheels on the ground is almost exclusively better than flipping at nothing, right? He pulls an absolutely useless flip. Even if this ball was coming directly on net, that flip would not have made it in time. All right, that one wouldn't have made it in time, and it still would have made it very awkward. I understand the tendency to want to pre-flip there, but have the communication, have the recognition. He can see the ball. He can see his teammate. Does not need a double commit here, and because of that flip, taking his wheels off the ground, he's unable to re-challenge that ball, unable to control the touch that he gets when he takes it out. Jay did everything he could just to stop the shot and cut off the pass. This was too much for him to handle. But also on the other side, we do need to take note of how you go up, miss that ball, and without recognizing that your teammates have 0 possession, you continue to be in bumfrick Egypt going for demos instead of rotating to that back post. So you're not out of the woods yet, as you missed your challenge and then went for demos upfield. You need to make sure and verify your teammates have some sort of possession, or else your demo is rendered completely moot.
Noted.
Mhm.
Makes sense in theory. I just never really put that
It's
together.
it's it's hard to put into practice, right? Because things happen so fast sometimes. But there's some situations where you need to know the challenge. Like in the one in question, the challenge went high, it lobbed up. Your team's not gonna grab quick possession off of that. And that's something to recognize. The type of challenge you get and the result, is it going to be easy for my team to pick up and just start the dribble or not? Here, all right, one of my big things is you need a tenacity of guarding the midfield line. Oh, and one quick thing to point out, watch it. You and CBK Nova are in sync with uselessness right here. 1, 2, 3, boom.
That timing.
Timing was perfect. And that's just go show it is instinctual for Rocket League players to want to flip up to that line. But what y'all just did was you put yourself 1 car length too close. This about to bounce off the wall, neither one of you are comfortable. 1, maybe 2 car lengths back, no flip at all, controlling that space, controlling that distance. You will find the spot where you are comfortable. But because each of you flipped forward, the tenacity to guard the midfield line, the tenacity to keep offense, that mindset that I will not lose possession of the orange side of the field turns into this. A double rotate, a double shadow defense. You go for the boost, leave him to the deep ball. Not bad. But neither one of you felt comfortable challenging that ball because both of you made a useless flip and took 4 wheels off the ground. Flips need very specific destinations, very specific needs and wants that you are trying to get out of it. To get closer to the play is not viable as an excuse because look, you got too close to the play off of a good flip, off of a normal flip. And as you can see, you and him were in sync doing it. That shows that it is across wide an instinctual thing for Rocket League players to do at this level. And that instinct is useless. Now he does cut in nice and early to get there, but that challenge would have been his much earlier had y'all just stayed true on the floor.
Can we watch that from my point of view?
Yes, yes, we very much can. Let me get my epic pen out. Cursor. Freshify. Player view. Back it up. Are we far enough back? No.
No, like a few more seconds. I think
All right.
here.
Yep. Now we have coming forward. Yep. You flip upfield, and it was too late to judge where it was going to be. Right here, you decide to flip. And it looks good. From here, there's no way you can know that you're about to wind up in the bad position. That's why flipping in this middle of the field is so dangerous because there is no telltale signs on your screen that you can look at the field and judge out, hey, this might not be a good idea. Because it looks like Jay is winning this. It looks like he might reattach it, might get a 50. You need to be there fast to help a buddy out because he's all alone up there.
I think that's what it was. I think I was reading that he was gonna win that, and then I would like go backboard or something, and I just wanted to be there for the double.
Yep. And imagine how much faster you could still be there all four wheels on the ground. Absolutely. You don't need to take all four wheels off. The time
I
you
think
save is negligible.
I think the only time I really do that flipping midfield is when I'm like super low on boost because I was 20 boost there,
Yep.
and because I
It,
thought I was gonna have to do a double, I just flipped instead of use boost
yep.
because one of their guys just took some of the mid boost pads on
And
the side of the field.
that's some advice we received as platinums. Flip instead of using boost. And it's a great starter level, but you're past that level. You're a rank B now. You need to know when four wheels are better than no wheels, and it is almost always. The rules of Rocket League progress the better you get at the game. Some things that were viable before and necessary for you to learn to progress are no longer reality. Could this have been better? It's coming across field. We kind of rush to get there. Rush a little bit less. Notice that Nova is also trying to go across field to catch that. It's a kind of a niche situation. That would have been really cool had he dropped that. If he dropped that and you were kind of patient as you stalked across, then cut in. Now that's niche. That's it's a lot of high IQ stuff going on there. But notice that it is. Notice in the back of your mind that these quick little dropout passes from a team that can cut, that could have been yours. It could have been
Mm,
yours. Not saying that it should have been, not saying that it was right or wrong for you to try to cover the other side because that's where the ball was going, but just keep in the back of your mind that this is a possibility and that could have been yours.
all right, yeah, that makes sense. Shall we talk about some stuff Orange is doing?
Absolutely, we can. We've talked a lot about this game and we are already coming close to our times. We are going to kind of not be as over analytical and leave this as it goes. But yeah, I like the fact that the orange team is spreading out their defense. But what I am seeing a couple times is that their noses are placed away from the ball. You can see right there, Zen shifts his nose away. Metro goes away from the ball as well, both leading to some awkward placements. So y'all are making some mistakes, but you're capitalizing on the mistakes that you see and capitalizing on the opportunities that you get. They're not doing as much of the capitalization.
What can they do to solve some of those issues?
Well, nose facing the ball is always a
That is true.
helpful little tip. And also noticing that when y'all are on the defensive side, y'all tend to bunch up in the net. Y'all don't put a lot of early pressure and early challenges on. So maybe start their plays farther back on the field. Get a dribble play coming in early and force you guys out of the net. Start some infield passes early towards the midfield and force your guys out of the net. Create those openings by baiting you out. Put the bait on the line. As soon as the fish comes up, you swirl it in, catch that opening. This is nice. Jay comes a little bit too close to you for comfort, but because they were so cluttered up, the opposite team was so cluttered up, Look at this transitional defense. We talked about y'all earlier. See, one person into the corner, that means the other person needs to go into the net. And yes, here at the midfield on a transitional defense, Metro is still technically challenging the ball into the corner, meaning Duct needs to go guard the net. Two-man rotation transition means a two-man responsibility. Instead, they both take the corner responsibility. They're both in no man's land, and Jay gets an open net shot. That is not where you want to be. Know your job, know your responsibility, your role in the transition, in the rotation. Transitional defense is some of the hardest stuff in the game. How you move from one side of the field to the other is super, super important. Good communication between you and Jay. I love the slow and controlled nature of your air dribbles. Um, but after really good communication between you and Jay, for you to go and not him, becomes to some really bad communication between you and Nova, and he refuses to break off of you, refuses to break off of you. Then Jay comes up and refuses to play third man. So now you got Nova and Jay, both of them trying to play close support, and neither of them doing either of it. Jay finally able to shadow defend and catch that out, but very much could have had a more successful push had he just stayed back a few clicks. And obviously Nova as well came right up pushing with you, even after he knew that you had the ball. Right? The initial confusion I understand, but the continuation of it is a combination of confusion mixed with stubbornness, and we all get it. We get stubbornly confused.
I think at this rank, the reason why that lasted so long is because we've had those experiences where both are like, "Oh, the other guy has it," and then you both leave at the same time, and then now it's just a free ball for the other team.
Yep. But it's better for a decision to be made than nothing, right? That was very passive decision making. Active decision making is better. And right here we have again that transitional defense. CBK eventually notices what's going on and bounces into the net, which is beautiful, but nobody cut early. This is on all defensive transitions. There should be somebody responsible for cutting early, somebody responsible for challenging the corner, somebody responsible for guarding the net. Nobody cut this off early. Nobody was intent on getting offense back on the field. Y'all are all okay with going all the way back for the reset, which ends up working because, again, they did not put anybody in a decent position behind the ball carrier. Metro tried, but he was just too far out, too late to get there, and Nova was all over it. Hmm.
You can really see, like, the back and forth of this game after that second goal,
Yeah, they're
of
starting
this.
to put up a lot more of a fight now, and that's very much true. Yep, and there you see two things that I've already talked about. We see Nova taking the corner and you going for the net. That's a proper defensive transition. And then we see Zen going for a demo when his team does not have possession, making his demo moot. It really didn't do anything for his squad. And then we move into an overtime that we'll fast forward through just a little bit in favor of time. Y'all start holding a very strong offense with some nice cuts. You can see Jay cutting in very strongly there. Nova not allowing that to go in with a good positioning as third man. And then this from Nova. Oh my, I love this drop down pass. This is easy enough to learn at Champ, effective enough to work against SSLs. Just sling it at the backboard. Somebody just be there and just touch it down. Then you come in with a perfect read, and there's no way that doesn't go in. It goes in every time. That's a beautiful play.
You gotta watch that at 50% speed from my point of view, or Metro's point of view, on how close that was from him saving it. He almost like, it's amazing that he didn't get a touch here.
Oh my goodness, Metro was right
Like,
there.
once again, just put that in 50% or, like, even 10%, it's crazy. just how close that was.
Excuse me, guys. All right, here we go. The pass. The recognition that, oh crap, this could be cracked. The pass back down Metro, almost there, but your booty just bumps it in the opposite direction, and
Can we watch
those
that from his point of view?
score almost every time. Unfortunately, we are well past out of time.
Ooh, yeah, we are, look at that. I got
Yes.
excited, my bad.
Oh, it was exciting play. I don't blame you. I really don't blame you.
I do wanna say one quick thing about that before we have to wrap it up.
Absolutely. One
When
thing.
Yeah, when you are last back and it's like a dire 50 in over or not even in overtime, just in general, the as you can see from Metro's point of view, he, like, didn't exactly put as much of his body in front of the ball as possible, and that left me the smallest of gaps to get it in the net.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a mechanical misplay on the side of Metro, and that's something he's gonna have to deal with. That did lose him that game 3, and you know that's sucky, and those touches are tough. Metro. There we go. All the switching. Yep, he came in for the style touch, or maybe not the style touch, but the effectiveness touch, trying to get a directed ball instead of the full on body. He had no faith. Basically, he had no faith. Either a mechanical error or no faith. Either way, he got punished for it, and it was a great game by you guys as a whole, but definitely some things to work on. And hopefully, everybody watching got something out of that that they can bring back to their squad. And coaches, if you're watching too, hey, don't forget Coach Scully has all the tips on advanced gameplay and mechanics, and it's all happening right here on Breakdown.
It really is, it really is. And with that, unfortunately, we're gonna have to call it for this episode. If you wanna watch more Slips related content, you can watch our games played at twitch.tv/Slips League Championship. Once again, twitch.tv/Slips League Championship, and it's every Saturday for the games. And if you wanna watch more Slips related content on top of that, Breakdown is every Sunday and Unscripted is every Wednesday. And with that, I hope you guys have a spectacular day.
Hey, y'all have a good one.